My creativity has always been 10 out of 10. My ability to be a business guy has been like a 3 out of 10.
Right.
And so now it's suddenly like this because of AI.
Yeah.
And my life has changed. It's crazy. I mean, even this morning I was in a really over my head hotel discussions about a commercial property downtown Nashville. And all the guys are saying all these words. I'm like, what does that word mean? So I just dumped the whole transcript into Claude. Now I understood I can engage in the conversation thanks to Claude. I've never been able to do that before.
What a gift.
I didn't want to go too deep because we need time.
Let's just go deep.
For it, but
we're going deep.
Just, we'll get more into this, I think, at another time. But your mom, who is my mother-in-law, passed, and I since then have been on I can feel it right now. If I keep talking, it's crazy.
This is new for you.
It's new. Well, the whole experience is new for me. I lost my grandparents, but it was very, very different. And a big part of it for me also is my wife, just having to watch how she's going through it with her mom. It has just been a freaking nightmare for me. So, if I'm painting during the day, right? And luckily the job I've had since we've been back, there's no one in the house because I hear something or think something and it's over. And I'm sitting there painting people would think this guy's lost his mind. And it doesn't take much, man.
We've had a lot of shows together, and you have often said it takes a lot for me to get to that emotion. This is different.
Different. It's sitting on the edge all the time right now, which I assume is, it's very fresh still. So I think that's a big part of it. But man, it is.
My mom died 2 weeks ago of an aneurysm. She was laughing at dinner.
Right.
Said, my head hurts. And within an hour's time, they drove her to urgent care, and then they called an ambulance, and skipping all the details, probably her brain activity was gone by the time she was in the ambulance.
Yeah.
And Janine and I, your wife and I, my sister, we were in Nashville, and my other two sisters are up in New York, so they were there. And we they were kind of giving us the play-by-play, so we booked a flight, and we're fortunate enough to be with her. The whole thing is hard because you don't know. They say to you, maybe they can still hear you, but her brain activity was pretty much gone.
Yeah.
And I know, I just kept saying, we got to FaceTime with her.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, just please hold on for 24 hours. I don't know why for me it was, I just wanted to feel the warmth of my mom's hand.
Yeah.
It was something I was obsessively I just want to hold her hand. And I could feel maybe the little kid in me coming up. Maybe that was part of it. Like you, I've only lost grandparents, had not lost anyone that close. And it was brutal. This is the greatest heartbreak of my life.
Yeah. For
sure. And there was someone's been sick for a long time and you're kind of slowly grieving toward it. It was completely unexpected. And so we're about 2 weeks out. And it's interesting because it sounds like yours is kind of right there under the surface, pretty steady.
Yep.
And mine has been super big peaks. It'll hit me and then I'll be coasting. Now, part of it is we've had all this stuff going on with our coaching company, so I've been distracted maybe, I guess, at one level. I sat with, those of you who listen to our old show, the Thriveless podcast, Terry Smith, who was on a couple of times. We call him the OG.
Yeah.
He's our suite mate here in Brentwood. he came and checked on me, and
Both spellings.
yes, that is true. He came in to check on me. He said, Terry, I'm kind of mad. Like, why does life go back to normal?
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I honoring, like, by going to work, am I honoring my mom? Like, it's a lot of confusing emotions. And he had great advice for me. He was like, why don't you just make a commitment to sit in silence each day?
Yeah.
And feel what you're meant to feel. Because they will come. And of course,
that's what I've been in.
Is that it? Yeah.
I've been in, the nature of my job just so happens to be this job I'm on is an empty house being painted. I'm there by myself. It's literally every day I've been not total silence, but no distractions. And so it's not like I'm constantly thinking about it, but it's like the smallest little thing. I'm gone.
I love that for you. I mean,
yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, just that, like, one of the things you've said is it's been a challenge to get sometimes to your sadness and feeling through it.
Yeah.
This is
totally
new.
I said that to Janine the other day. I said, man, this is crazy how I'm feeling. Like, it's so, it feels emotionally unstable. I don't think it is. I think it's just emotional. But to me, it's like, and then I said, oh, I'm just very sad. That's what's happening right now. And a lot of times I can push that down and be the happy, funny guy. And I still can, you'll see. But I'm operating at a normal level that I'm not used to. Like, the normal level for me the last 2 weeks has been completely foreign to how I usually operate.
But you're broadening your emotional repertoire by actually allowing yourself to feel the sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't had it's so strong that there has been no ability to tamp it down. It's just like, boom. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, give a little bit more language to I'm sad because.
I'm sad because I think it's lots of things that I think about why I'm sad. One is the shock and awe of the whole thing.
Our niece Savannah got up at the funeral and said the doctors came in and told us, Grammy, I'm quoting her at the funeral, she got up and said, the doctors told us that Grammy had a catastrophic event.
Yeah.
And she said, that's actually the right word.
Absolutely right word.
This has been catastrophic for our family.
Yep.
And like, she didn't pull any punches at the funeral.
No.
Like, there was no spiritual bypassing. She just was like, this is hard.
Yeah. So that's definitely part of it. I'm sad for my wife and my kids as well. And just the whole idea of like going to Buffalo is not going to be the same ever again. We would do trips with them that are never going to be the same. It's just the loss of so much stuff. Around one person.
Yeah.
And then I typically will trail into, my dad isn't great and he's older. And so it just starts this whole funnel, this whole downward spiral of, and then this, and then how much more time. And like, it's real stuff. But it's unstoppable.
And it's beautiful that that's broken free for you though. Like, to feel it and be in it.
Yeah. So I'm not sorry. I don't usually start things off on such a somber note, but it's where I'm at. And I thought it'd be good to clear that. And maybe I can.
And if you don't, you don't.
If I don't, I don't. But
we go right back to it. I think that's part of it.
That whole time there was crazy.
Yeah.
Then our daughter got real dehydrated.
Oh man.
We were in the ER one night. I was like, what is happening?
The night before the wedding.
Yeah.
The sequence for our family was everybody was preparing for our niece's wedding.
Yes.
And a week before this happened out of the blue, and the family was there, had those initial hours.
Mm-hmm.
We flew in, we got there, you drove in.
Mm-hmm.
We got there the next day, got to be with her for about 24 hours. She passed at 1:34 in the morning.
Yeah. I got there like 5 hours before
Yeah.
So that was another thing.
Well,
my first experience of seeing someone's final breaths.
Yeah, being
was
being with someone in their final moments, and for us to be with my mom, your mother-in-law, and then a few days later we have the funeral, and a few days later we have Savannah's wedding. Like it was a pretty intense time. One story that was really lovely was my dad got a card in the mail, a letter in the card, I think, or it was a text or a card. A few days later, after we'd posted online about what we're going through, and this lady said, "Hey," she was a friend of the family. She was like, "Hey, I wound up going to the hospital, and I saw some posts about your wife." This is her message to my father, and realized we were there at the same time, and I think I may have even seen the ambulance that brought her while I was pulling in, and there was some pretty serious issue she had scheduled surgery. Right, but she kind of backtracked and realized I think I came in the same time. And then she put together, she was starting to follow some of our posts, but she said, I had this strange sensation, and she gave the time. Maybe she asked, maybe it was in a text thread, but she asked, "Hey, what time did she pass?" Or maybe my dad wrote it down.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
Maybe he mentioned it, and he mentioned the room number she was in. And she said, "Your room was the room Susan was in was directly above mine." And
she was directly above.
Or she was directly above Susan. That was
like
it.
4 floors directly above.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And she said, I was in a really hard place coming out of surgery, and had this strange sense of comfort that felt like your mom's. Felt like, if I'm using my language, felt like Susan's presence. Mm-hmm. And we're like, I don't know how that works.
That's wild.
But is mom, ministering to somebody in the other space? Like, wow. So there are a couple of really cool stories like that were really beautiful. But yeah, we're in it. We're in it. And, one of the things that people who've gone through grief have said is like, don't resist it, right? The feelings come. I was going to mention Kubler-Ross is kind of the traditional, like, hey, you have these 5 stages of grief. The truth is, it sounds like there's a whole lot more, and there are a lot of nuances to it. But I mean, you roll through sadness, anger, acceptance, like, and they all come and go. And so we honor them, and we honor our mom.
Celebrate her by doing what we're doing.
Yeah, we do celebrate her. I came back, and what hit me immediately was, and kind of put a bunch of this on pause, was we had made this commitment to really expand what we were doing with our coaching company.
Yeah.
I've been the only coach for 6-7 years. At the beginning of this year, we started doing some training, and some people had come to us, hey, we want to coach. And so we'd started this Thrivalist coaching certification process. And long story short, we hired a guy, Brian Delaney, amazing guy. And he's come in to help us build a whole online community, a platform to create digital resources, the whole thing. And so I have been in this creative space again. And so, one of the biggest things on my mind, this microphone's awesome. One of the biggest things.
I will say if it drops a little, I think it's fine.
All right.
These mics are good.
All right. Thank you. Is I've been in the creative space again, which I've been longing for. Like I've been missing creating. So us doing the show, I think we talked about this on one of the previous shows. Like, why are we doing the show? It's got a bit of a hobby. Like, we just want to create. And this thought came to me, everything beautiful begins as something embarrassing. Like, at least that's my experience.
Yeah.
When I've written my books, like, it was really helpful. It was Elizabeth, who was it? Maybe it was Anne Lamont. Elizabeth Gilbert, I'm going to reference later because she had a book that was really helpful. But I think it was Anne Lamont or maybe it was Stephen King. But I was reading a writer who was like, look, write the shitty first draft. Like, you got to, like, get it out, right?
Yeah.
But don't share it with anybody.
Yeah.
But when you make something for the first time, you're like, I don't think this is quite it,
Yeah.
And I feel like that's true. And how many times do we not create because the fear of rejection, failure, embarrassment? And so, what I was thinking about was what's interesting is that we admire people who create, but we don't typically admire them while they're creating. Maybe Bob Ross, we have the exceptions, right?
Right, true.
But it takes a certain kind of person who's going to hang around for that whole show too, right?
Yeah.
Most of us like to see the finished product.
And he knew that too. And he's like, this will be fun. This is a nice little tree right here. He's a good friend of ours.
Which was a form of entertaining really while he was creating, right? But we tend to admire the finished work. Most of us don't admire the first draft. But the first draft is what gets us going. We have to start somewhere. And a little confession here, as an Enneagram 3, we often reference the Enneagram, which is a personality profile of sorts. I don't fear work. I fear unproductive work.
Oh, sure.
That's what I'm terrified of.
Yeah.
This was not efficient. I didn't use my time well. I fear the effort that doesn't actually produce. I fear, I've got this fear that I'm going to look foolish. And what I'm coming to, and this isn't new, but I'm being reminded of it, creativity is inefficient. Like relationships. Like it's just not efficient. And I have to let go of my desire, control, containers, mechanisms, processes of efficiency.
Yep.
To be playful.
Well, that's where I can relate with you. You're a 3, I'm a 9, but I have a pretty strong 1 wing. And efficiency is pretty high up there.
You don't want to waste time.
Well, you don't want to waste time. You don't want to do it the stupid way.
Yes. You don't want to do it twice.
No. Why would you could do it right the first time. Do we want to do that? Yes, sir.
Right.
So I get that.
Yeah. So, to me, that's what I've been wrestling with that's what I've been wrestling with in this idea of creating. I was thinking about some of the books I've read about creativity, and we referenced one already in one of the shows, The War of Art, which is fantastic, Stephen Pressfield. But I thought, Shane, let's go to the library.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have another book.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
You ready for it? Okay. This one's close.
Nice move.
Thanks. Elizabeth Gilbert, who is famous for Eat, Pray, Love.
Yes.
She wrote a book called Big Magic, and it is one of my favorite books. And what she addresses is when it comes to creating, we all deal with fear. And she says early on, it's scary, scary, scary. And anybody who's out there who's listening, there's a thing you want to do. Some way in which you want to be creative. Some kind of expression. I don't care. It's like you want to pick the guitar up again. I don't know. You want to sing again. You want to paint. You want to make something on the job. There's like a risk thing. You feel like, this has been risky. We're taking it just from one coach to 100 coaches. We're full on. This is we're building an entire community. I sat with our marketing guy, and he's like, you're going to film 60 videos. I'm like, okay. You're doing a live masterclass. Okay. It's a lot of work. And I feel there's so much unknown in it. And she says this, look, the reason you have all this resistance around creating is because you're afraid you have no talent. You're afraid you'll be rejected or criticized or ridiculed or misunderstood or, worst of all, ignored. You're afraid there's no market for your creativity and therefore there's no point in pursuing it. You're afraid somebody else already did it better. You're afraid everybody else already did it better. You're afraid somebody will steal your ideas, so it's safer to keep them hidden forever in the dark. You're afraid you won't be taken seriously. You're afraid your work isn't politically, emotionally, or artistically important enough to change anyone's life. You're afraid your dreams are embarrassing. You're afraid that someday you'll look back on your creative endeavors as having been a giant waste of time, effort, and money. You're afraid you don't have the right kind of discipline. You're afraid you don't have the right kind of workspace or financial freedom or empty hours in which to focus on invention or exploration. You're afraid you don't have the right kind of training or degree. You're afraid you're too fat. She says, I don't know what this has to do with creativity exactly, but experience has taught me that most of us are afraid we're too fat.
Yeah.
So let's just put that on the anxiety list for good measure. You're afraid of being exposed as a hack or a fool or a dilettante or a narcissist. You're afraid of upsetting your family with what you may reveal. You're afraid of what your peers and coworkers will say if you express your personal truth aloud. You're afraid of unleashing your innermost demons, and you really don't want to encounter your innermost demons. You're afraid your best work is behind you. You're afraid you never had any best work to begin with. You're afraid you neglected your creativity for so long that now you can never get it back. You're afraid you're too old to start. You're afraid you're too young to start. You're afraid because something went well in your life once, so obviously nothing can ever go well again. You're afraid because nothing has ever gone well in your life, why bother trying? Mm-hmm. You're afraid of being a one-hit wonder. You're afraid of being a no-hit wonder. She says, everything is so goddamn scary. And what I appreciated is like she calls it out, right? Like it's fear.
Yeah.
And we make this agreement with fear. And we sit and we ruminate and we get stuck. And she says, as the saying goes, argue for your limitations and you get to keep them.
Huh. That's good.
Why would I want to keep my limitations? I didn't, as it turned out. And I don't want you keeping yours either. Oh, I love it. One last thing from her. She says, I can guarantee you this. A creative life is an amplified life. It's a bigger life. It's a happier life, an expanded life, and a hell of a lot more interesting life. Living in this manner, continually and stubbornly bringing forth the jewels that are hidden within you, is a fine art in and of itself. How's that land on you?
Unfortunately, the thing that really stuck out to me was the idea of being afraid that you're too fat. And it occurs to me that I don't think I've ever been afraid.
That's not part of your...
That I was too fat. Well, there's a threshold, I think, of it's like saying I'm afraid I'm wearing khaki pants. Well, move past the fear. You are wearing khaki pants.
Yes.
I'm afraid I'm too fat. No fear. You are. You need to lose some weight. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, she's so brilliant with her words.
Yeah.
And like you talk about art, that is her art.
She is gifted. I was thinking the other day, I had an experience where I felt some fear. I felt some fear about how I was perceived. That this is not new for most of my adult life. I've shared this in my books and in my teachings. The ego tends to have three dominant categories. It's obsession with comfort, it's obsession with approval, obsession with control. And we all contend with all three, but there tends to be one that's pretty dominant in our lives. And so the approval one it's been the biggest hook for me.
Yeah.
And, I've shredded my life in lots of ways and cut a lot of attachments. And that's been a wonderful dismantling of the ego. But I was thinking again the other day, like, there's a little fear again. Oh, we're creating, we're jumping back in the arena.
Yeah.
I'm going to have posts on social media and, that's going to bring out the people who want to take shots. And just like she said, they'll be the accusers. And in my head, I could find myself thinking about, well, what will my response be to the accuser? And I realized, I use words in some ways to help manage my ego. Some people use power and intimidation. Some people use violence. We have different ways we're looking to protect ourselves.
Yeah, sure.
And she tells her story. She's like, look, I wake up with fear every day. And so isn't it interesting? Tony Robbins, I quote this a lot, but he says your greatest rejection becomes your greatest obsession. And sometimes our talent is woven around our pain, our preoccupation. And, as much as I've done so much work and, generally walk through my days, I don't give a shit about what people think anymore as much.
Right.
Still the moments that little voice pops up and I have a thing. Yeah. And my first defense is, well, how would how would I respond to that? And so my first defense is words. Somebody else's first defense might be, just intimidation or power, right? I'm going to slam you. They might come at you. They might use words, but they could use energy. And it was just an opportunity to just check in again with, oh, okay. Like some compassion for my ego. Like, okay, I'm probably using some words to protect myself. And thank you, ego, because you're also prompting a place where I can be creative. I really love words. Any other thoughts on Elizabeth, her thoughts about creativity?
No, I was just going to say in response to what you're saying about responding to, how many times I can say response, about responding to criticism or whatever.
Yes.
For the most part, it's water off my back.
Yeah.
For the most part. And I've often fantasized of being well known enough that I get the criticism all the time, and I love it.
It's like reading Ryan Reynolds' response to people.
Oh, that's so cute. Thank you. Wow.
Yes.
I've responded every now and then to people on the internet, and it's stupid because no one ever sees it. No one cares about my response, but I let my feelings out sometimes that way, which is nice. Yeah, I think that I said art, that's her art. And so often we talk about art, and almost every time I have to stop myself because I do think of painting. I just do. Like, I don't know why. It's probably ingrained in me. So I'm like, art is painting or drawing or whatever.
When you hear the word art, you think paint
initially,
and draw.
Yeah, something like that.
Art class.
Right.
Okay.
Which is so elementary.
No, but that's fair.
Yeah.
One of the first expressions of art that would come to my mind would be painting and drawing.
But certainly in my age and in my years of experience, I have learned about art and even creativity, kind of the same idea, same word that used to bring something specific to mind. Now it's like, wait, it's anything.
Yeah.
Anything in your life that you create.
Right.
And so in terms of that, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Do you feel art can be, or creativity, whatever the word you want to use, seems very personal? Mm-hmm. Seems very like, this is what I do. Brings me joy. Do you feel like that dies when it becomes performative?
It's a great question.
Perhaps when it becomes more about,
I'm doing
people
this
are going to love this
for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because, first of all, fundamentally, there's lots of performance that we would call art, right?
Sure.
You go to the Broadway show, it's performance and it's art.
Yeah.
But I think in the context in which you're asking it is like, hey, if I'm just making this to impress, I'm going to go to the Barry Zito quote we use all the time. He was our very first podcast. I
think so.
One or two. It was him or Tyler Ward. They were
totally.
And Barry Zito was a very couple World Series pitcher for Oakland and then San Francisco Giants. Left-handed curveball, which is insane. Look that up. Just look that up on YouTube.
Yeah.
But he said on the show, he said, whenever I stood on the mound and I wanted to impress, I was in my head and I had a lousy game. When I got on the mound and I remembered I had a gift and I was here to express the gift, I had the game of my life. And the difference in those two energies. Yep. So I would just go back to that. I think that to me is, because the form could be exactly the same, but it's the energy in the form.
Yeah.
And you can feel that with people, like 70%, there's different percent, depending on the stat, but approximately 70% of all communication is nonverbal. And so think about how much communication is just energy.
Yeah.
And you can feel it in somebody. And so I think the creative stuff is like, man, and it's also, you said it's very personal. To me, when the art is most vulnerable and is most an expression of me, is typically when it has its, ironically, the most power and influence and can move someone in a different way. So if you're like standing on stage or with your pen or with your paintbrush or with your camera and the whole energy is, I got to impress somebody, I got to impress somebody, I got to impress somebody. It's a different energy.
You know what it is? I think it's probably a killer of, we had a previous guest, we talked a lot about being in the zone.
Yeah.
And to me, if that's your energy, you're not hitting the zone.
You're in your head.
That's killing the zone.
Yeah.
Anybody you think of that has been in the zone, they're not trying to impress you. They are locked into their
flow state.
Flow state.
Yeah, flow state, in the zone. It's a whole other way of being, right?
Yeah.
It's this other. There you are, tapped in.
Yes.
Beautiful. Well, let's go to the mailbox.
Let's do it. I know we got something.
We got some. I know we got some comments on TikTok and by the way, for those of you,
this is a good one.
Facebook and Instagram, we had a lot of people. We had an outpouring of love for our family.
Yes.
Related to my mom on social media. It was really mind blown. Like,
yeah,
So
totally.
those of you who commented, thank you.
Yes.
We really felt that love. But question from TikTok.
All right. I am struggling to get through shame and guilt. I messed up and I'm trying so hard to make up for the hurt I've caused. Can you make any suggestions?
Well, this is not that far away from our conversation about fear, right?
Yeah.
So Brene Brown, we've talked about this in other shows, but it's worth repeating often. Brene Brown has the best definition for me of shame and guilt. She says guilt is this low, shallow level feeling that goes, ooh, yuck. That's a behavior that's not who not reflective of who I want to be. I'd like to change that behavior. And then you do. You're kind of like, I'm going to change it. She says shame is very different. Shame is burying. It's like rubbing your nose in it, and it goes after your identity. Mm-hmm. It's a voice that's an accuser. You are an idiot. You are a fool.
What kind of person does that?
Yeah, that. And a lot of my clients, I got a client I'm working with right now who, I mean, he's done a lot of work, but I mean, he comes in oftentimes, sits in this chair, and he's like, man, that shame is overwhelming. I feel the shame for how I showed up in a relationship. And that's what I hear perhaps from our friend on social media. She's saying, I messed up. Like, well, first of all, props to you. There's some ownership.
Yeah.
You're owning, hey, I messed up. I'm taking responsibility. In some way, I moved out of my integrity, or I hurt someone. And so first off, I would say, hey, see if you can thin slice between those energies. What's shame and what's guilt?
Yeah.
If it's shame, I would say to you, the way out of shame is to find a spiritual practice like meditation or reading or 12-step program. That's where other people get to participate. But find a practice where you go back to your true identity. Who am I? And I do a lot of exercises around this with clients. Who am I? What's true about me?
Yeah.
And you have an ego. Let's honor that. But in your higher self, you are someone, you're an observer of that ego walking around on the planet.
Yeah.
And that observer, who is that observer? Lots of different spiritual teachers use a lot of different language for this, but this would be like your Christ self, or this is your spiritual self. Well, there's nothing to defend in that perfect Christ self. Like in the spirit, you're a beautiful spirit. There's nothing to defend.
Yeah.
The ego is the thing that's constantly looking to defend itself because it wants to stay alive. So to move through the shame, the starting place might be forgiveness. Hey, I forgive myself and I love myself. I remember I went through a season back in 2016 where I felt like a failure. And I found this little book. It was a tiny little book, and it was written by like a tech guy in California. And here I am, I was a pastor at the time, but all these books on theology. It was this little tech, like 40 page from a tech guy. And the whole book was, I love myself. Oh. And I remember that was exactly what I needed. Every morning I'd wake up and go, Jamie, I love you.
Wow.
Jamie, I love you.
I was going to ask you, maybe forgiving yourself is kind of like that. Because what does forgiving yourself really mean? Because just saying it, I don't know, maybe that works, but like, I forgive myself. Well, okay, how do you get your heart to believe that?
Yeah.
And maybe it is that repetition.
It is. It's accepting that I'm loved.
Yeah.
And if no one else, I'm loved by me.
Right.
My higher self, Christ in me, the divine, God, higher consciousness, source, whatever language you use for that word. Even if you're an agnostic, like what's your language around that higher sense of being?
Yeah.
Find love there. and choose to, forgiveness to me is just, it's love holds no record of wrong. It's going, I messed up, I owned it, and I'm taking the next step.
Yep.
So climb out of the shame by going to what's my true identity. I actually have nothing to defend. I am created in love, by love, for love. And can I find some kind of truth around that? And they might go, that might take me months or years. And if that's okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
But that's fundamental to how you show up in the world. Secondly, if you find the guilt, you go, I don't think it's shame. I just think it's guilt. It's really yucky. I wish I didn't do this, and I don't like this behavior, and I don't want it to continue. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. What are some new habits that you put in your life so that whatever had happened doesn't happen again? You don't repeat the action. And recognize that there's probably a broken trust with yourself and with others. Trust takes time to rebuild. Mm-hmm. So honor that.
Yeah.
And in time, as people begin to see, oh, wait, you're showing up differently in the world, and you're consistent in your own integrity, and you keep your agreements, you're rebuilding trust. So lots of places we could go.
Yeah.
The thing I would add is creativity is a wonderful way to get in touch with the true self.
Yeah.
Find a creative act.
Oh, that's good.
And go express it. It might just, in the creative act, might be drawing, it might be journaling, whatever, but move the energy. Some people are like, oh my gosh, I'm in overwhelm. It's so confusing. I'm lost. I said with a client yesterday, I'm lost. I'm in overwhelm. I'm confused. It's all this complexity. Okay, well, move the energy. Simplify it. What does it take for you to move all that energy? One of the exercises I give people is they have to pull out a sheet of paper and they have to write. The pen can't leave the paper. And I want you to write all this stuff that's in your head that's overwhelmed. And your pen can't leave the paper. So you're like, I have to go to the store, and I'm so upset about what she said to me, and I don't know if my marriage is going to work, and my kids hate me, but my one kid does love me, and I love myself, I think, but maybe I don't. And like, it's stream of consciousness. Right. Until you get to the end. You got nothing else to say. And when you get to that moment of silence, like, okay, you typically find some aspect of peace. What you did was you cleared the ego fighting for its life, clamoring to try and defend itself to stay alive. So find an exercise.
Ooh, that's interesting.
To move the energy.
That's good, man.
Okay. We have our artifact.
Ooh, I'm excited for this one.
Jackie,
caught a glimpse of it.
Producer Jackie. It's a beast, right? It's heavy, right? Okay.
Look at that.
I pulled this off my wall to bring here. This is on my wall. So years ago, I had an office in the factory in Franklin. We're in Nashville, just south of Nashville, Tennessee. And I'd become friends with this photographer who had his studio was next to my office.
Yeah.
And, I'd walk outside and he had that like gasoline and he's like lighting his photographs on fire. I'm like, Jeremy, what are you doing today? He was always doing something crazy.
Right.
And so one day I walked in, he was like, hey, I got this new printer. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you want one of my newest creations? I'm like, hell yeah. And so we fired this thing off his printer and I'm like, I got an original Jeremy Cowart, like right here.
Seriously.
But this was, he was creating digital art and he took all kinds of faces, I don't know, hundreds of different faces and fused them together.
No way.
And what I loved about it, my message that I took away is, hey, separation is an illusion. We are all one. How about start with compassion and recognize the person you're tempted to judge is also you?
I like that.
Which is, quantum physics and lots of spiritual teachers. And so this hangs in my place as a reminder, which maybe now we're going to move it here because we're keeping the artifacts here in the studio.
Go.
But
hate to lose the Battle of Franklin picture.
No, we got a spot over there. We can put it behind the production.
Okay.
It's my reminder that separation is illusion. We're all one.
Wow,
it's
really
a picture
good.
of unity for me. Our artifact.
Is there a title for it? Do you know?
Well, maybe we should ask him.
Ask someone.
Because I heard he was in the neighborhood.
Really interesting.
Oh, look! There he is.
Oh,
Jeremy Cowart. Welcome. Come on in.
Yeah.
welcome. So, put that mic in front of you. But welcome. You were with us on the Thrivalist podcast.
I was, yes.
And you have like a little historic moment for us because Jeremy walked in. We started talking. He was like, "Hey, have you heard of this thing called Chat GPT?"
That's crazy.
And we were like, "What the heck is that?" And you were like,
Terrible name.
Yeah, we're like, what? Like chat? What chat? Like for a week, I was like, "What are the letters again?" And you're like, "No. Like, I'm pretty sure this is going to transform the world." And I was like, "Oh, that seems a little dramatic." People have said that. But And you're like, "No. It's going to transform the world." And we were like, "Okay, Jeremy's probably right because he's been in front of some other things that have transformed the world." So, wow. You were right on that, Mr. Prophet. So let's talk about you. I want to talk about AI. You got to walk into the living room here, have this fireside chat about creativity. Who better?
That's amazing. I was like in heaven listening to that. I wanted to say so many things. I was like, shut up. Yeah, so good.
Well, we're so glad to have you. So Shane was asking, is there for people, because I got to show off this amazing photograph you gave me, is there a title to this or any backstory people could know about that?
There is a backstory. I just love that, the crown that he was wearing was a photo of a child wearing a Burger King crown.
I love it.
Yeah, literally from Burger King.
Wow.
And there's, so many photos in here. There's a homeless guy that I worked with. The shirt is from the homeless guy. And so one of the eyes is from one of my children. And there's just so much story wrapped up in that. And that's the way that I love to create, is just throw things into a blender and see what happens. Yeah.
I have an idea for a title if there's not one.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
G's Us.
Hey.
All of us.
That's good, Shane.
Jeez.
You should be titling all of Jeremy's artwork from now
And it could be like GEEZ, us.
What's crazy is that I first did this with Tom York, the lead singer of Radiohead.
Oh my heavens.
And then I went from Tom York to Christ.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Interesting.
Is this
jump.
like one of how many or something?
I didn't print many.
Okay.
I don't even know, actually.
Sweet. So it's worth $500,000. Protect it.
I do have crazy news. Well,
what?
I shouldn't say the news yet, but there's a high probability of signing with one of the top art galleries in the world.
Yes.
Hello.
So I'm really, really excited about that.
Are you recording this on your glasses right now, by the way?
No, you would know if I'm recording it. The light turns on.
Oh, okay.
And I only wear Meta glasses. I have a nonprofit where I collaborate with people in need. And so we wanted to record my perspective when
that's so cool.
Drawing or painting or whatever.
Absolutely.
So we have if I'm on the street with a guy who lives on the street, we can film my hands creating with
that. Is so cool.
So anyway, and then I do love that they're headphones as well.
Totally.
Just to listen.
You jumped in the story about creativity. I want to stay in that space in how you engage creativity. You have reinvented yourself over and over again. You are not afraid to innovate. You're not afraid to explore, experiment, try new forms of art, different materials, different ways of shooting.
Literally the epitome of creativity.
Yeah, you kind of are in our world. There's so many that, we're around lots of photographers and all and artistic people, but you, to me, more than anyone, have had this gift through the years of different forms. Would you talk a little bit about first of all, do you ever feel some of the feelings we were talking about? Do you feel that artistic resistance? Do you ever have fear at all? And if you do, how do you move through it? How do you continue to recreate?
Yeah, of course, I have various levels of fear. It's funny, I have my own workshop that I teach about called Liminal Framework. And I did read that book, but I didn't remember the lines. Like she was talking about all the different types of resistance. I go through that same thing too, but I have my own version of it. So it's interesting being reminded of that. But yeah, I have fear. A lot of times I'm like, has my time passed? Am I too old? Am I too irrelevant? Am I, are people over me? Will anyone see it? I can't afford it. I don't know the right people. But I never have fear of doing it. I've always been fearless in that way. I don't care what people think. I love what you were saying about that. I think as we're getting older, you just don't give
Right.
up. Yeah.
It definitely helps getting older and having your teeth kicked in a few times.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, you know what?
This is not lip service. I literally don't get
He
it.
doesn't. He really doesn't.
Have you seen the lady on Instagram that's blowing up with the "We Do Not Care" club?
Yes.
No,
oh my
she's
god.
amazing.
Oh, no, I need to see
No,
that.
Millions
you
of
do.
followers. Yeah, it's
Hilarious.
just hilarious. She's like just wearing multiple readers on her head.
Yeah.
Here are all the things we do not care about. Yeah. And so, yeah, I think there needs to be a man version.
So
Oh,
good.
that's good. It's so good. Because when you just kind of accept, I might not be everybody's cup of tea. It's okay.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's freedom.
Yeah.
Total freedom.
Yes,
It's
it
okay.
is.
Yeah.
What are you creating now that you've got a lot of enthusiasm around? Wait,
Glad you
B&B,
asked.
and I have to ask you because you were going to be on the show and then we had to reschedule. You were like, I got to reschedule. I'm going to be with the Pope next week. And I was like, with the who? You're like, with the Pope? So did that happen? And how did it go?
That happened. Yeah, I went to Rome, did a project with 40 teenagers from 40 countries on various conflict zones where we did a
gosh.
project in cahoots with the Vatican where I photographed the first kid, like Ukraine, living in the middle of the, war zones. They would ask a question that the next kid from South Africa would have to answer, and she would answer the question. She would ask a new question that the guy from Texas would answer. Texas guy would ask a new question back to Ukraine that they would have to answer. And so it was a Q&A among teenagers, Gen Z, trying to figure out peace and war. And so it was so powerful. Yeah, it was
beautiful.
really intense.
I just had a conversation with a university professor, University of Florida. I think he's been there this might be long, 37 years. I mean, like a long time. Maybe 27, I don't know, something like that. And we met him through a mutual friend, and he's a professor on adolescent sociology. He's written 5 or 6 books, and we sat at coffee, and I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, I want every book. It was fascinating.
Crazy.
And then I did an interview with him for a couple hours 2 days ago. And just,
Did you ask me if it was a sin to bore a child?
is it a Sindabora kid? I didn't ask him, but I think he'd say yes.
Yeah.
And so Shane's referencing our background. But it's fast. What I loved, his premise was, why do we not give teenagers more of a voice?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because, and I think that my response to that was, I want young people around me because I actually want their idealism. The older I get, there's a tendency to get more skeptical and lose some of my childlike wonder and naivete.
It's easy to shut down the idealism too.
And
that'll never work.
Right, but and their idealism, I like it because it pokes.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's actually probably a good question.
Yeah.
And so what was the conclusion of all that? What was it?
We're still piecing it all together, but I mean, it was just beautiful.
Wow.
I mean, to see it almost gave me the same vibes as the World Cup, right? To see all these countries coming together, and we're like, wait a minute, maybe it's the parents that are the problem. The kids will get along. Like the world leaders and the government, and the politicians, they're the problem.
They're the problem.
And when you get us all together, it's just a love fest.
And wasn't it? The World Cup is a great example.
Perfect example. And so the same thing I witnessed with the kids. Like here we have all these countries together, all these wars, but seeing them together and it's just beautiful. And
I was talking to my agent yesterday, and she represents Justin Bieber and his family or whatever. And she said she was talking with Bieber, and he said that he had 1 trillion views apparently on that his thing at the World Cup, which was a pretty super chill. It was a total beat change, right? It was just him singing Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And that not only did the world, I'm sure there were some people who were angry or whatever because everybody's got an opinion, but that there was this overwhelming that was really lovely and meaningful and touched me. And there really was in this World Cup. They're different than any World Cup I remember.
And I think Chris Martin was in charge of that.
Was he really?
Creatively, the halftime,
Really?
which is
Did you see the moment where he was with the kids and not even performing?
Right. In the background, I was like, I think that was Chris Martin.
Just hanging out.
That's so great. I loved it. Yeah.
That was a great moment in time in history. And boy, did we need it.
Yeah.
Right? Man. I mean, what a breath of fresh air. It was medicine.
For the heart.
Totally.
Yeah. Good word. So, okay. So coming on the backside of that, what else is happening creatively?
A whole lot.
Number one.
Man, I feel like I have 7 careers right now. It's been a very hard year. I mean, I've gotten my ass kicked 24/7. Super hard year. But I am one resilient dude, and I keep pressing forward. And now they're all popping. And so I'm like, what do I do? What do I do with this? So I spent 3 months this year, like became a full-on software developer. And so I built 3 AI platforms, and one of them, only one launched, and it was so successful so quickly that I was like, oh crap, I need help. I can't scale this alone.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm now finding partners who are about to relaunch that, which is exciting. And it's got people weeping, crying. It's so powerful. It's basically like I built a mirror to the human soul where people answer 12 questions, and what comes back to them is just making everybody cry.
Yes.
I don't know how to explain it.
I saw one and I cried.
Yeah, I had a 95-year-old woman do it, and she said this is the best gift I've ever been given.
Wow.
And so I'm like, oh, okay, we need to figure this out and scale it.
Wow.
So I've been working on that. My fine art career, which has never existed ever. I've only done it kind of on the side, but there's something insane happening there that I'm excited to soon announce. And then this old idea called the Purpose Hotel.
Yeah.
That has died many deaths.
Yeah.
And has had many births. And
I was part of the Kickstarter campaign or whatever that thing was.
This 14-year journey.
Yes.
And it's been dead for a while. But suddenly, I mean, we're talking 0 to 60. So I'm back in major hotel development right now. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited because the vision is new. It's still the OG social good components, but now with all my content creation ideas, I have endless ideas on like a room like this. I know how to transform this room to make amazing content for people. Ooh. So imagine a whole hotel where it's just this like creative factory. And then everything I'm building with AI, the way my AI software changes hospitality is also a game changer. And so those 3 components, it feels like the hotel of 2040. You know, it's very, very ahead of its time. And so the chance to get to bring that to life just has me beside myself.
Yeah.
Then the 4th component is my nonprofit, which would also plug into the hotel. We get a nonprofit where I find people in extreme need. We're talking gunshot survivors, cancer victims, survivors, refugees, immigrants. And so I go spend a day with them, and we make just the most insane, weird, fun art we can think of through all kinds of different methods. I worked with a kid recently who is shot twice in the neck, robbed at gunpoint. So he's paralyzed, 18 years old, paralyzed, neck down. And I was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do with this kid because he can't create. But the name of my nonprofit is If You're Breathing. And so I'm like, he's breathing. So we're going to figure this out. And so he and I spent the first hour painting with our noses on canvas.
Oh, my God.
And it was extraordinary. His mom was holding up the canvas to his nose, and he's painting with it, and I'm doing the same. I didn't want him to feel like a fish in a bowl, so I'm doing everything with him. And that was amazing. Then I was like, where does your imagination go when you dream about walking again? He was like, well, I'd be a superhero. I'm like walking down the street. I've got the Hulk fighting behind me. I'm like, perfect. He's like, there'd be a helicopter with lasers. Perfect.
Nice.
And it would be called The Return. And so I made that image secretly and like over to the side with AI. And I did reveal to him and his mom and dad. And we were all just a water factory, just weeping, And so then all the art becomes secretly. We don't tell them, but it all becomes fashion. So clothing, hoodies, t-shirts, hats. And then we release the story to the world. The world sees it. Hopefully they're invested. They buy the merch, and we come back and surprise them with a paycheck.
Oh my God.
So they're the hero of their own story, and they don't know it. Like, I love all these kindness creators right now. It's beautiful. But the only bone to pick is they're the hero. You know, it's like, oh, we raised all this money for you. Here you go. It's still beautiful. It makes me cry. But how more powerful would it be if the person is saving the day for themselves? You know?
And talk about empowering.
Yes. The epitome of empowerment. And man, I mean, I've had a good year. The past year, I just won a Clio Award, which is the equivalent of an Oscar for advertising, for the work I did for Star Trek and Paramount Plus.
Wow.
But I'm telling you that painting with my nose with Jaden is like more fulfilling than winning a Clio. You know, it's like, it's just like, that's what I want to do. So back to the hotel, the way all these stories can be told in the hotel, it's just insane. And so like all my worlds are like suddenly kind of just working, but it all works together.
Wow.
Like, it's not these separate.
Yeah.
And so back to the first question, like that's what I'm working on. That's why I'm so excited, because I've got this whole network, this whole grid of ideas that are all connected.
What do you say to somebody who says, I'm afraid to chase the shiny object? Maybe there are even people that kind of judge them for it. Like, oh my gosh, you're like a golden retriever. You know, you can't, there's a squirrel everywhere, and you're chasing that, and you're chasing that, and you're chasing that. And you should, one thing at a time. And if you can focus on one, you tend to get one over the line. And I can, from a coaching perspective, certainly acknowledge there's some truth to that. We understand the power of focus, rather than a shotgun, having a laser. What do you say to people who are contending with that? I feel like I just run after lots of different things. Do you go, hey, knock yourself out, don't stop? Or do you go, no, here is how you focus? What's your thoughts for people around that?
I mean, it's so nuanced. It's so hard. It depends on the person. But I'm like, which one can you not stop thinking about 24/7? And how deep does it go? A lot of times ideas are shallow level. You only see the top layer. Here's the idea. But some ideas you're like, holy crap, I understand the entire picture. Like when I first had the idea for the hotel, it wasn't a social good hotel. It was like instantly I knew the name, the tagline, the vision, the marketing, why people would care, what the rooms would look like, what would happen on the elevators and the lobby. I mean, it was like, and I had no experience in hospitality, but I understood this idea because I understand, like you do, and like you do, we understand humans and emotions. And so anyway, like how deep do you understand it? How passionate are you? Then it goes like, I actually have a whole 7-step framework. Is the topic relatable? What's the concept? Number 2. Number 3 is, what is the vision? Vision is most important. If it doesn't have its own unique vision, it will fail. It'll just look like everything else, Like podcasts. Podcasts are hard, there's infinite podcasts. What is making this one stick out, So what's the vision? Number 4 is just verify it's a good idea. Sometimes we think it's brilliant and genius, but then we go talk to our loved ones, the people we trust, and they poke holes in it. And suddenly you're like, oh shit, that's not the best idea. And then step 5 is, can you produce a production, the budget, the rentals, the gear, the team, the crew, the timeline, all that stuff. And then step 6 is just execution. And it's time to do it at a high level. Like if we did this with no lights and crappy cameras, it's not going to work because it's just low quality. And so you've gotten all this way. You can't just dial it in with crappy gear. You gotta execute well. Yeah. And then 7 is shipping it. Like, how are you going to find your people? How are you going to find your audience?
Done is better than perfect.
Totally.
What's that?
Done is better than perfect.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so shipping is a whole freaking beast of an animal these days with so much noise. That's so hard to get. Harder than ever, I would say, to get to find your audience. And so anyway, like I literally walk people through that exact question. But the simpler version is like, man, which one is just making your heart soar every day? Like, how do you go after that?
It's just so beautiful. And thank you for walking us through that. What you like I referenced in the beginning, you were aware of AI early on. What's your relationship with AI? And like, what is there any part that scares you and what part excites you?
It is fundamentally and radically changing every facet of my life. But I do agree with all the concerns about it. And of course I do. I'm super concerned about job loss, about what kids are going to do for work in the future. I'm super concerned about the water usage. I am seeing even NVIDIA seems to have some kind of solution for the water that's coming. I'm super concerned about the data centers and where they're going and the communities they're impacting. So all the concerns are legit, and I agree with them. However, we're only seeing the bad PR. We're only seeing the bad of AI, and that's why everybody like passionately hates it. Sometimes when I talk about AI, I feel like people respond to me like I'm Satan himself.
Right.
Wow. Oh, are you running into that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Hate the earth, huh?
Crazy.
Great. Good for you. You hate the environment. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What?
That's
Exactly.
it's now equated with that because of what they've heard about the data centers and the water and so
And
on.
the billionaires and,
Yeah.
And again, like I get all of it, but they're just not understanding the good that it can do. So for example, the story I just told about Jaden, you know, the 18-year-old, we used AI to bring his imagination to life. That was beautiful. The platform I built called Humathy, where I'm helping people understand themselves. I mean, AI is the core of that. But the way that's changing my life at the moment, and this is just radical. So as an idea person creative for my whole life, I always have ideas that are way bigger than me and they span industries. So like when I had the hotel idea, I'm like, man, I understand this. I know that it would work. So then I spent the next 10 years in meetings with hotel people and investors and commercial real estate and all this stuff that I'm like, I don't know what y'all are saying. This is way above my head.
Yeah.
You're speaking a different language. I would leave meetings and not have a clue what just was said in the meeting.
Right.
And so now that I have all these different business ideas spanning industries, I am obsessive about recording every single phone call, Zoom call, audio with their permission.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody,
Yeah.
I'm going to record this call because I'm so ADD and forgetful that I don't remember the meeting, first of all, but I also, there's so much said between the lines at a high investor level and in those worlds. I did not get that chip. I got that relationally with friends and, you know, but I don't speak corporate, and they have a whole language and all that, you know.
Sure.
And so I now record every single meeting, and then I go into Claude and I let Claude interpret everything for me and read between the lines and in real time educate me on all the words they use that I don't understand.
Wow.
So it is literally going to college and it is an interpreter, translator, 1000%. So, and I just had a weeks long contract negotiation with a software development team, and I no longer need a person. I just had Claude go back and forth on this extremely complicated legal doc where I understood every detail, and we landed at this amazing place with no one fighting or arguing. Like everybody's on the same page, contract is signed.
Wow.
And I'm like, I can't believe, like, where has this been for 25 years? Like my creativity has always been 10 out of 10. My ability to be a business guy has been like a 3 out of 10.
Right.
And so now it's suddenly like this because of AI.
Yeah.
And my life has changed. It's crazy. I mean, even this morning I was in a really not intense, but over my head hotel discussions about a commercial property downtown Nashville. And all the guys are saying all these words. I'm like, what does that word mean? You know, so I just dumped the whole transcript into Claude, and it just taught me in real time. And then I responded. It wrote the email for me. Of course, I went and tweaked it to make it sound like myself. But now I understood I can engage in the conversation thanks to Claude. I've never been able to do that before.
What a gift.
So, yeah, it's like, I mean, every single creative in the world is like me, and they don't know what they're missing. They don't know that they can now have that translator, in the room. So
you've always been an early adopter on the front end. Roll the tape, 2 years, 5 years. What do you think changes in our world most dramatically?
Oh, man. I think it's going to cure most illness and sickness and diseases. That'll be the beauty.
I mean, we're hearing that from people like Tony Robbins and and a number of other people in the AI world. I know some investors in there, and they're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
does it eliminate gatekeepers somehow? So in other words, some people say we think there has been a cure for whatever, but the
big pharma,
whoever it is, has kept it. Is AI able to circumvent that issue?
I bet
so.
I'm not nearly knowledgeable enough to know that.
Me either about that.
But I do think it's just going to solve so many illnesses.
That'd be awesome.
Man, the thing that I'm worried about is I keep saying I'm excited about the short term, terrified of the long term. Mm-hmm. But you just see these guys from Anthropic. There's one guy that quit. He's one of their lead engineers. He's like, I'm leaving the country and I'm going to go write poetry with my kids, because he was like, I was researching my daughter's college and realized there's no point. Like, we're not going to be here. Like, humanity will not be here. And so he, and he's not the only one. There have been, I can think of 5 or 6 that have said these type things where we will be wiped out. And I don't know what they mean. I'm like, is it the electrical grid that'll go down and somehow is there going to be some massive wave of robots that just take over, which robots are actually more terrifying to me. Anyway, I don't know what they mean, but it's sure when you hear people at that level saying that it'll end humanity, it's pretty scary.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm just scared for I hate even saying it because I don't want to place fear in people, but sure, I'm scared of what people do for a living in the future, especially our kids. It's scary. I know a lot of kids who have already, like, for example, I've got a friend, their daughter wanted to be a very specific type of doctor, and now that job is gone because it's robotic arms with AI, because there's no handshaking, there's no forgetting. Right. It's like literally perfect precision. So humans can no longer do that job as well as AI. So I don't know. It's weird. It's all weird.
Any sense of, if you're a parent guiding your child and your child's going like, what skill do you think I would be good to develop for the next 5 to 10 years? Is there something that jumps out? Like, one of the things I'm hearing a lot is like, go get a trade. Because we think it's probably still going to be a while. You might still need a plumber to come in and fix your pipes.
Yes, but
with robotics, that could go away too.
Exactly. Yeah.
How far away do you think we are from that?
I think we're like I would say 3 years from robots being in everybody's homes. And I am excited about robots doing the laundry and the dishes. If they can do the laundry and the dishes, that's awesome. But
you think a robot could do interior painting?
Yeah, for sure.
They can put down drop cloths and stuff.
They won't need to.
Yeah, you can't control. You can't control spray.
I mean, there is endless examples out there of robots already just like doing this type of stuff. So I just think they'll figure out how to make it mega affordable, and everybody will have robots. What I don't understand is they're all having, right now Claude Fable's model is like, superior. It's the one. And when all these robots also have Claude and the ability to listen, it's all just so weird. I don't know. But I do get afraid of the trade jobs as well.
So maybe a painter should be the guy that carries the robot around.
Yeah.
Got to get him in the house somehow.
You're the transport.
I don't even like hearing myself because I don't want to implant fear.
No.
I'm just shooting straight. Like these are
all possibilities.
Yeah, for sure.
They're all real possibilities.
I'll find a niche.
You will.
People who refuse the robots.
There's no question.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a fun exercise. Sometimes Shane and I do this together, but since you're here, we're going to invite you to join us.
Okay.
Free association. We each say a word, and you have to say the first word that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay, this is very Freudian, but we're just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Love it.
Okay.
Which way are we going?
Well, Shane, we'll start with you. We'll go clockwise. How about?
Okay, great. Robot.
Rocky.
I just say another word. Rocky.
From Rocky, whatever comes from Rocky.
Oh my gosh, sweaty.
Jim.
Class.
Dumb.
Ass.
Sweat.
I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, dumbass sweat.
Yeah.
Workout. Yeah.
Huh?
Huh? Is that a word?
I think so. Okay. Workout.
He said workout.
I know. So I'm starting over. I'll free you from the huh.
No, man, I'll take it.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Penis.
Rocket.
Ship.
It's the most fun I've ever had on a podcast. Oh my gosh.
You're supposed to be faster.
Ship
First
to you.
thing.
Well,
ship to you.
Laugh here.
Yes.
Ship to me. Seth Godin.
Wow.
Oh, whoa, dude. Marketing.
Buffalo.
Bills.
Paid.
Go.
No.
Super.
Bowl.
Cheerleaders.
Oh, man.
That's where my mind's at.
Dance.
Class.
Jiggy.
I was like, with it, but that's not really a word. Will.
Smith.
Yeah. Good. Wesson.
Smith. Think of the Smiths band.
FM.
Synth.
Oh, good.
Synth. I don't know. Radiohead.
80s.
Best.
Oh, I was thinking best.
A little close there.
Yes.
You know what kicked me off was when you said robot, I thought of Rocky IV. And that robot that was wandering around the house with him. And you were going, hey, we can have robots in the house.
That's good.
I mean, I heard about an interview recently. My friend Caitlin was telling me that she listened to an interview with Peter Thiel.
Yes.
And she said it was very interesting because she said he was saying how disappointed he was with how little we've developed. And he was like going back to Back to the Future and Rocky and whatever else.
Oh, yeah.
Like they thought by now we'd have flying cars and robots in our home. So it was interesting to hear this, futurist actually talk about I think we're actually a little slow.
You know, my thing is I've had this discussion with myself about the flying cars. It's like, I think they could have flying cars. I don't think that's the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem is the infrastructure.
Navigating the airspace.
And people knowing how to fly a car.
Well,
Right.
they did it in Coruscant, so clearly you can figure it out.
I don't know what that is.
I think we're still ahead of. I think we're ahead of flying
in
cars.
Star Wars.
We never would have dreamed we'd have a device of the whole world on our
No, that's
hands
Right.
and
No,
AI and
right,
social
right.
media.
I think Peter Thiel needs to take a pill.
Yeah.
We're doing all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to close with this. First of all, Jeremy, thank you for stopping by.
Of course.
It's nice that you were in the neighborhood. A little exercise for us, and I'm going to leave this as a little action point. So here's the coach in me. question number 1, what are you protecting? If nobody could judge you, what would you create?
It's funny. I've always said that an artist is somebody who would keep creating if they were the only person alive.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Like you literally have
Like,
to
I
create.
have to do this.
Yeah,
I love that.
No matter if anybody ever sees
I
it.
love that. Lock that in. That's good. If success disappeared, would you still make it?
Would I still make what?
If it wasn't successful, would you still make the thing? Anyway.
I mean, I've made a lot.
And when you were in it, and you're like, nobody's buying this, nobody wants this, were you like, I'm still making it?
Yeah, I think when I have something I want to make, I make it.
I'm going to make
no
it.
matter what.
I
Yeah.
love it. And then the last question to ask yourself, what beautiful thing is waiting on the other side of your willingness to make something mediocre first?
One more time.
What beautiful thing is waiting on the other side of your willingness to make something mediocre first?
Yeah, I think. What did you say? You actually had a quote from her book about that earlier.
About limitations?
About embarrassing. Everything beautiful starts embarrassing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Starts
That
with
was so
embarrassment.
good, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you. That was actually not her. It was me
you.
and AI together.
So good. I mean, that's it. Like everything I do is mediocre, and this is mediocre.
Not this one.
I mean, I just look at all my art as mediocre because I only see what I could do. You know?
Also very much an artist, right? Like I was talking to an author yesterday and she's like, I just have to rewrite the book. And I'm like, you wrote that 7 years ago. I know, but I got to read. And I'm like, I get it. Every book I have, I would rewrite.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how that changes because sometimes I'll look at my work occasionally, like, wow, I'm like a literal badass. And then, but most of the time it's like, it's all shit. You know, it's like, oh, I just don't care. Doesn't interest me. But sometimes I think it's usually fun to realize how weird my brain is. To look back on ideas like, wow, I did that. Like, for example, I did a live event a few years ago where I invited 300 people to come watch me live, put on a freaking white mask and shoot 20,000 self-portraits in 10,000 self-portraits in 20 minutes. Each one being completely different. Whoa. Different lighting, different backdrops, different AI projected on my face, projected behind me. And then sometimes I'm like, did I really do that?
Right. Hey, the bigger thing is 300 people showed up for it.
I know. Yeah. It was crazy. They were all crying too. It was like this crazy, like weird live art performance. And so, yeah, I've got a weird brain.
I love it. Well, we love having you around, my friend. Thanks for stopping by.
Of course.
Heck yeah, man.
Shane, great to be with you.
Yes, you too.
Did we cover everything today?
I think so.
All right. Well,
we have room to grow too.
Yeah. There's always more.
Room to.
Well, both of you have a lovely day.
You too, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.